Kia has 10 electrified utility vehicles to choose from. Whether you're ready to take a Kia Sportage Turbo Hybrid on a road trip, a professional looking to navigate traffic in an EV9, or someone who wants electric for every day and fuel for far away with a Sorento plug-in hybrid, Kia has something for you. Find out more at your local Kia showroom today. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. The 2025 Sorento PHEV has an EPA estimated all-electric range of 31 miles on a full battery charge. Actual range will vary.
Hello, welcome to the Groundhog Mix Show. What's your name for all the people?
My name is Nyasia Chane'l.
I like that name. So do you want to tell people how you get that name? Did your mom or parents have a specific reason for naming you that?
Oh yeah, shout out to my parents. They came up with Nyasia. So that part was originally who I am. But Chane'l came from my mom actually, because we were just going through names one day. I came home from college and I told her I wanted to be an artist, and she heard my music and she was like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna need a name." And I'm like, "Yeah." And at first I was gonna go with Star, because I really like the name Star. And then I was like, nah, that's cheesy. I was like, well, I like my name too. So we stuck with Nyasia. And then she was like, what about Chane'l? And I was like, because we like Chane'l. So we're like, you know what? That doesn't sound bad. And at first I had Chane'l with the accent over the E. Then I was like, nah, it should be a little bit, a little different. So we added the apostrophe between the E and the L. And then Nyasia Chane'l was born.
All right, that is amazing. So I thought that was your real name. So that is a beautiful name. I actually thought that was your real name. So where are you from?
I am from upstate New York. Shout out to the 845. Yes, I am like an hour away from the city naturally, but yeah, I'm upstate.
Okay, what is 848?
845 is the
My fault, 845.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Upstate region. So we would consider that like Sullivan County, Hudson Valley territory. If you guys are familiar with New York. So yeah, that is where I'm from. I'm in the upper region of New York, where the cold parts is at, where the deep.
Okay, yeah. Because we're on radio. A lot of people may not know what that is. So that's why we had to clarify New York. Awesome. So you're in a fast-paced life because you're in New York. What is something that you love about the music scene in New York? Because I know it's fast-paced and you got more opportunities than most people in this country.
I think it's amazing. Like, honestly, every time I perform, I'm always meeting somebody new, whether it's a new artist, new creative, new entrepreneur, new CEO. New York is a land full of opportunities. So I'm constantly always meeting somebody new. And I think it's beautiful. I get to hear different sounds, different vibes. For me personally, though, I mainly only listen to myself more so a lot, just because I'm constantly working on creating different vibes. So I'm always constantly inspired being in New York and just trying to, tighten up on what I do.
Okay. What is your first memories of falling in love with music?
Ooh, I think I've always naturally just been tethered to music just because both of my parents are super musically inclined. My mom and dad, they had their own entertainment company back in the day called Creative and Soulful Entertainment. Oh, it's called CNS Entertainment, I believe. And I actually brought them back out. I had to dust off the little, you know what I mean? I brought them back out because I was like, Mom, we got to get it out of here. And she was like, bet if I lock in with you, you better be serious. And I was, and we've been locked in ever since. So I think they've always instilled with me, the importance of music, what it can do, how it makes you feel. And I feel like that's just my comfort zone. I feel more at peace when I'm listening to music. So it was only right to create it.
Awesome. So when you was growing up, who was your favorite R&B singers? And was you listening to hip hop? And if hip hop, what are some of the artists that you was listening to?
Ooh, so I feel like I have an older soul. So I was really more so tethered to Etta James, Adina Howard, Aretha, of course, Whitney, of course, Mary J., Brandy, Monica, Shanti, those were the girlies. So Beyonce, I think I said Beyonce. And I feel like those ladies set the tone as far as like creating different pathways for us as artists to be able to do what we can do. So I feel like they've always made music that made sense and they've always had a story or talked about something. So I think within myself, I was like, I would want to be able to do the same thing to where you could have people feeling good, feeling this, feeling that. You know what I mean? To be able to be that middleman, I think it's just dope.
So I know you call Mary J. Blige older or whatever, which, she is about 50 years old. But so my question is, are you in your 20s or are you in your 30s?
Oh, no, I'm in my 20s.
I could tell that you was in your 20s, but I was just I'm going to ask you a specific age, but I kind of figured that. So your generation, what would you say is the best artist that you have heard from your generation in R&B or hip hop?
From my generation?
And it could be an unsung artist also.
Nyasia Chane'l.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Yeah, I think there's too many artists to name that I would think in my generation.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the next question for you.
I'll have to bet on me. I'm gonna bet on me because I don't want to offend nobody.
All right, so how did growing up in New York shape your sound?
I feel that it gave me a sense of belonging. Like, you know how you can definitely tell when a person is from New York versus where else it is? I feel like it's so much history behind it that even when I tell people, I'm like, oh, I'm from New York, they like light up. They're like, oh my gosh, you're from New York, what? You know what I'm saying? And it makes me think, like, if I had said anything else, is it that same reaction? I notice that only when I say New York or something. Like if I say Cali, they're like, oh, okay, Cali's cool. But, I notice when I say New York, they always get like, super ecstatic. So I feel like it makes me feel even more proud to be from New York. And I try to exuberate that in my music. Like, although I don't feel like I have a true like New York accent, when I am speaking to different people who aren't from here, they're like, yo, you sound like you from New York. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So I think my music kind of exuberates that feeling of excitement. I think it feels like excitement. I try to make my music how I feel about the things that I experience each and every day. And hopefully they feel that same way too.
So keeping it on New York, I know New York used to have a lot of record stores, but I know a few have closed down, even the bookstores. But do you ever go to any of the stores and connect with other artists? Because sometimes going to like a music store or a record store, you can connect with other artists and DJs.
Yeah, so I'm always trying to connect. It's just, I'd say, challenging a little bit as far as like working with other artists, just because I'm upstate and say they're in the city. So it's kind of like we would have to schedule it how we can make it make sense. Most of my songs that I created right within my studio. And so I'm always open to working with people. I do have a platform on my Instagram. I do every Monday, I do a talent show on my Instagram Live. And from then it's opened me up to working with different producers and different artists and stuff like that. So I'm hoping this year to get some more female collabs because that would definitely be dope. I would want to make some more music with the girlies, you know what I'm saying? I do have a lot of my features are, from a lot of men. So it'd be cool to see the girlies coming up a little bit on that side.
Okay. So tell us, what song do you consider one of your best songs or your favorite songs?
That's hard. All my songs are my babies, but I think best song would be Sticky Wicked. Personally, that's my favorite song just because I perform it a lot and I see it gives people a different reaction each and every time I perform. Like that's always the one where people are like, what was that song called? You know what I'm saying? So I think that one would be my favorite so far.
Okay, and I think I found you on Clubhouse. I connected with you on Clubhouse. So, do you have a Clubhouse?
I do actually have Clubhouse. I was once heavily on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is really the spot to be during the pandemic, connecting with different people, building yourself up, creating your own network. So I love that aspect of it. I actually have an album called Clubhouse Number 7, which was inspired by Clubhouse.
Wow, you should reach out to Clubhouse and let them know because I feel like they would promote that or do a newsletter or mention it in the Clubhouse town hall.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely got to reach out to them because I definitely have a good story about it. And I think that if more people knew, I think they would be more intrigued to listen. But yeah, I have I called it Clubhouse number 7 because it consists of 7 songs. And I named it Clubhouse number 7 because I like the aspects of what Clubhouse was about, like how they were able to have control over the room. They could set the tone for the room. And I was like, wow, I love that. I want to set the tone for my music. So I want to set the tone for this album, for this EP. So I was like, yeah, we're going to run with it. And yeah, I think we've been rocking out. A lot of people like the songs on there. So if you guys are out there, make sure you check out Clubhouse number 7. And of course, let me know what's your favorite song on the EP.
Awesome. So how have Clubhouse helped you as an artist?
As an artist, I would say definitely widened my reach as far as connecting with different producers, artists, people like you who celebrate music. So I think it's definitely contributed to that.
Okay, awesome. Do you have a favorite room that you used to go to or some people that you connected with that you can remember that made an impact on your life?
It was so many to name. I would say Big 7. I think I'm saying his name correctly. Let me make sure. Let me look on it.
Yeah, it's Big 7.
Big 7, right? I think. Let me see.
It's Big 7. I know him.
He's from Jersey. I am Big 7. Shout out to I am Big 7. I know that every time I tapped into his room, he would always announce me in the room or, we crack jokes and stuff like that. And from then he was, supporting my music and stuff like that. And I got to meet him in person and it was just like how it was in person. So I think that was one of my favorite rooms that I entered into. Shout out to him though, because he definitely held it down. But yeah, I would say one of those rooms. And, of course it was so many different rooms. It was like popping up every day. Every day was a new club, like a new thing.
Awesome. And Big 7 still do rooms. I don't really go in Clubhouse like that, but I do pop into Big 7 rooms once in a while. He did a room last night.
Oh, wow. See, I gotta tap back into it, man. I've been so busy. I was like, I feel like after we opened up from the pandemic, I had no more time to go back in. Like it was like, oh, we back in action. We gotta be back outside. So I definitely got to tap back into the Clubhouse.
So that's a good question. How has the pandemic changed your life as an artist?
I say it was very much a pro and a con. I say con-wise, it stopped me from performing. And for me, I love performing and connecting with artists all the time. Well, artists, but love connecting with people. So it hurt me when we wasn't able to perform and stuff like that. But at the same time, it allowed me to slow down and create music, because at the time I only had a couple of songs beforehand. I only had maybe about 4 songs recorded. And because of the pandemic, it slowed me down to where I could figure out my sound, figure out, the direction that I wanted to go and figure out what I wanted to talk about, because as an artist, you see everybody doing everything. And it's kind of like, where do I fit? How will I stand out amongst so many? So I think it was more so it turned out to be more of a blessing for me, because once we came out of the pandemic, I had so much music and content and built myself up on these platforms that I feel like if I didn't have that chance to chill, it probably would have taken me longer to get where I am now. I don't know. Only God could know, but I think it was a blessing.
What is your favorite place to perform at? I do apologize for that.
Oh, it's fine. What was my favorite place I performed at?
Yes.
Shoot. I think when I performed for Aretha Franklin tribute with HBO, shout out to DJ King James because he set that up for me. But I think that was the best performance that I had so far, just because it was just so much full of love. It was full of unity. You know what I'm saying? Being able to belong to something. And I think being able to be there in that moment, I really experienced being an artist.
That is amazing. Wow. To perform for something, as big as a tribute to Aretha Franklin, that is something that you definitely need to put in your EPK if you don't have it in your EPK.
Yeah. It's in there. If y'all check it out, check out my website, www.NyasiaChane'l.com. You can read all about everything I did and what I got going on. But yeah, that was definitely one of the ones. I was like, it was like 3,000 people there. And I was like, yeah.
Was that nerve-wracking for you?
Kind of, but like how it works for me is I might be nervous before I go on stage. But once I go on stage, I have like that Sasha Fierce. You know how Beyonce, she has Beyonce and then she has Sasha Fierce. I feel like that's the same thing for me. Like I could be nervous as freak. And then when I get on stage and the lights go up, I'm like, all right, gotta get to it because you know what I mean? I'm be tight. I'm be tight if I look back and I'm not sounding how I'm sounded, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. I had to build to get there though, because there were performances where I've forgotten the words. And I was like, after I did a performance like that, I was like, no, we can never be like that again. I think
Okay. How do you prepare to do performances like that? What are some of the stuff that you do before you have to perform?
So every time I perform, I gotta have a cup of tea. Gotta have some tea. A lot of the times, like if I know I'm performing a lot, or if I have a big performance, or if I have a performance in general, that week I'll just try to rehearse as much as possible, drink as much tea as I can, of course, rehearse the music, do the vocal warm-ups because those are all essential if you're trying to use your vocals. And yeah, I've been working out on the treadmill, practicing running and singing at the same time. So I would say those are a couple of things that I try to do before I perform.
All right, and you are the first R&B singer to appear on the brand new Grind Hard Mix show, so congratulations for that. We had a rapper, but now you're the first R&B singer, and we had a lot of models. So shout out to you for that.
Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh, I feel so honored. Thank you.
So, speaking of hip hop and R&B and all of that, do you listen to rap music? And if so, do you have a rap artist that you enjoy? And what style of rap music are you into?
Ooh, good questions. I would say I do listen to rap very much so. I listen to hip hop, some alternative rap. I would say a few of my artists that I listen to on the rap side would be Drake, of course, J. Cole, a little bit of Future. I like Biggie. I like Tupac. I like Jay-Z. What else? LL Cool J. I love LL Cool J. Who else? So there's so many to name. I think those are some of the inspos that I listen to when I listen to rap.
Okay. So do you have any CDs? Like, because I know CDs is rare now, but have you bought any artist CDs? That's just a question for you, especially for a 20-year-old. I just want to see, have you bought a CD lately? Because, I think CDs are still cool.
They definitely are. And when I perform, a lot of people, they actually ask for CDs. So I definitely got to get up on my game with that. But the last time I bought a CD, it was actually a Drake CD.
Okay.
I bought his Take Care album, and I've just cherished that album. So I haven't bought a CD actually in a while just because my dad is a DJ. So a lot of the times he would be burning a lot of the, different kind of music that was out.
Okay.
Because of that, I never really had to buy CDs again because he would always have. So I was like, anytime I need to listen to anything on a CD, I'd be like, Dad, I want to listen to this genre. And he'll be like, all right, and just give it to me. So I didn't really have to buy CDs like that.
Okay, that's cool. But yeah, definitely being an artist and performing, having those CDs or the flash drives is a good deal.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just give you a good tip for you and all the artists on this call. You can go to Disc Maker and get your CDs and your flash drives made. So they specialize in that. But then there's other little you're in New York, so you probably got a mom and pop store that you can go to and get a few press.
Yeah. There's always different kind of stores. I definitely have Disc Maker. I believe they're in my email. They be sending me emails. So I got to tap in and definitely lock in and do that because I know that those are always the questions when I'm performing. Like someone's always like, do you have a CD? And I'm like, oh no, I have a business card, or I got a dot. I can put it on your phone right now, so I got to keep that in mind for those people who, cherish CDs and stuff.
Especially like the older crowd. A lot of them still cherish CDs, even though they have the streaming platforms. They know how to use the streaming platforms and they have it, but they just cherish the CD because a lot of people, especially in the South, I don't know about New York, but in the South, they still got the old school cars and They got tapes and they got CDs in those old school cars.
Yep. I wish there was a I wish there was a CD player in my car. I don't know why it's not in my car, but I'm like, all right, whatever. There's always perks and cons with the CD too, because if you get a couple little scratches in it, then you got the wicked, then you can't listen to the song all the way through. You know what I mean? But if you one of them ones that take care of your CDs, and you don't never have that problem.
So when someone send you a beat, or if you find a producer that you want to work with, how do you choose a producer or a beat for your music?
Great question. So I go off of feeling, because I truly believe that music is spiritual, and not in a way that many people think like, oh my gosh, you have to be like, in a way you gotta like conform yourself. But I do feel like I need to create something that speaks to me, of course. So if the beat's got a great bass line and a great, melody cadence to it that allows me to be able to create without having to think too much about it, because the beat provides you with the words itself. I like working with people like that who can make vibes like that. And a couple of producers I got to shout out who've given me nothing but fire vibes. Shout out to Chabal Beats. Shout out to It's Devo. They've been giving me some fire back to back to back. Sugar Beat been giving me a lot of fire. I got to shout out Everton, Kev Music for giving me some different styles of beats. So I'm always open to listening to different kind of sounds and of course beats from different people, but it's got to be a certain thing to it. And shout out also Royce. He is a dope producer that I met when I did a mini tour out in Indiana. So I was able to work with him. And then from there, I had a song with Robert Curry called Reciprocation. He's from Day 26. So we was able to rock out and create some magic. So yeah.
All right. So knowing your dad is a DJ, so he probably have connections to the radio. How did it feel when you heard your song for the first time on radio? That could be FM, internet, satellite.
I would say when I heard myself for the first time on a major radio, it was amazing because I was around my family and it was around love, and everybody was just so excited to hear it. Just like to hear that I broke through and was able to be on something that a lot of people are not able to get on, especially because getting on radio is like a relationship kind of thing. You got to have a good relationship or, the other way. And I was blessed to be in a situation to be able to hear it. So when I heard my song first on the radio, was on a big platform called Hot 97, Power 105, sorry, Power 105.1. They gave me my first shot. Shout out to DJ Nori. He played it first on there. And then as far as independent radio, I had been backed up with a couple of different radio stations. There's so many to name, but I had the footage because I'm planning on one day I'm going to do a documentary, right? I'm going to do a Nyasia Chane'l documentary. And from all the footage that I got when I first heard my song on radio, I have it. And from there, you'll be able to see all the radios that my song was playing on at once. But I just don't want to get the names wrong and stuff like that. But shout out to the independent radios who were supporting me when I first started, because you helped me to get where I am today. So
yeah, I love independent radio. Like I'm on commercial radio, but I love being on independent radio because it's global, unlike local. And I'm on some local stations too, but I love that. And then also because you can push an indie artist. See, Hot 97 and Power 105, they got to make their advertisers happy. So that's why they're not going to play as many indie artists, but sometimes they have spots where indie artists can send in, but they can't do that all the time because they got to please their advertisers.
Absolutely. And shout out to my parents too. They have their own radio station as well on Party 101.9, and it's on iHeartRadio. It's called CSC Media Network, where you guys come, any independent artist, if your music is up there, make sure you DM Creative Soulful and send your music in, because they have their own thing too, which I think is cool, because I'm like, that works because it's creating a continuous platform that artists can come and get their music actually heard and played, in those cases where you aren't able to touch those major ones, so definitely.
So next question is, have you ever performed for or went to any of the DJ coalition calls? Because that is another way for to get your music out as a artist, dealing with the DJ coalitions.
Yes, that very much. I've been a part of the DJ Fleet DJs. So every time I have like a single or a project I got going on, I always make sure I service it to the DJs, because without the DJs, where would us as artists be? And I just feel like it's just important to make sure you have those connections with the DJs, of course, because like I said, we need them. So I always try to tap in whenever they have events. A lot of the Fleet DJs, they have events going on all the time. I'd probably say like 2 weeks ago, I went out to a DigiWax event. I was at the Matrix Studios. They were partnered together on it, and a lot of DJs were in the building, and a lot of them came from
Awesome.
So that was definitely dope to be back in the good vibes with them. So
definitely, I'll be on the DigiWax call almost every week, and then I'm on a Fleet radio station. So
there you go.
That's dope. All right, so I don't want to hold you up because I know you're busy. But what I do want to know is tell people how they can listen to your music and how they can follow you on social media.
Yes, you guys can listen to my music. Just type in NYASIA space CHANE''L on all platforms. I'm wherever you can listen to music. Wherever you listen, I'm there. All you got to do is type it in. But on Instagram, I'm Nyasia_Chane'l_ X Nyasia_Chane'l_.
Kia has 10 electrified utility vehicles to choose from. Whether you're ready to take a Kia Sportage Turbo Hybrid on a road trip, a professional looking to navigate traffic in an EV9, or someone who wants electric for every day and fuel for far away with a Sorento plug-in hybrid, Kia has something for you. Find out more at your local Kia showroom today. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. The 2025 Sorento PHEV has an EPA estimated all-electric range of 31 miles on a full battery charge. Actual range will vary.